Hello YouTube, Hillman here, and it's a beautiful day here in the River Nation, and I am smoking a Missouri Meerschaum Country Gentleman Maplewood version. Just got this pipe the other day, and so I wanted to put up a review, compare it to the corncob version, let you know what I think about it, some of the things I do not like about it, and give you just my opinion of it. Smoking some Mississippi River in it. Smoking Mississippi River because I've smoked hundreds of bowls of it, from everything from my Graybos to my Mr. Broggs to Cobbs to my Savinellis to my Nordings to my Alphas and so on and so forth. So I know how Mississippi River is supposed to taste. I am drinking some Fireman's No. 4 Blonde Ale on a hot Texas afternoon. Good stuff. So, without further ado, let's get on to the review. You can see the grain on this. This is just a natural finish with a clear coat finish on it. The bowl is Maplewood. The shank is your typical birch that is in all the Missouri Meerschaum cobs and all their pipes. I ordered this one with the amber bit. You have the choice of the black or the amber. This is a filtered version, and the filter is not in there. And I will talk about that in a little bit. This is heavy duty, doesn't bend or flex. And look at all that condensation in there. I did not realize that I was a slobber monster. But I should have probably let this Mississippi River dry out a little bit more. This is some that I got in recently, and it could just be moisture pulling off of that tobacco up into the stem. And I may not be a slobber monster. Anyway. The Country Gentleman is my favorite shape of all the Missouri Meerschaum pipes. I like the bowl size, how much it holds. You can get a good hour smoke out of this, maybe a little bit longer if you're a slower smoker. So let's compare it with the cob. You'll notice, if I can hold these up here and try to hold them even, you will notice that the Maplewood version is a little bit taller. The width is about the same. In the cob version, you know, these are natural, and you're going to get a little bit of a variance between the bowl size, the thickness, but the inner diameter and the bowl depth is going to be generally the same. I have another Country Gentleman that's quite a bit thinner than this one with a smaller bowl, and so they do vary. I'm assuming that these are probably machined on a CNC probably, and these are going to be just this is just going to be a standard size of this particular of the Maplewood version. So love it. It's a Country Gentleman. I love the amber bit. I've never had one before. Really like it. Things that I've noticed, comparing this to a Mr. Brogg, Mr. Broggs are made out of pear wood. They are supposed to have a little bit of sweetness in them. I smoke Virginia dominant blends, and so, you know, they're naturally sweet. I did not detect that in the Mr. Broggs. Of all the Mr. Broggs that I've had and I own and smoke, I have never detected that when it was brand new, and it could have something to do with those are pre-carbonized. I don't know about that. I'm not sure, but with this guy, I noticed it. Not in a bad way. Just ramped up that sweetness out of the Virginias a little bit, and actually it's pretty good. If you were smoking an English blend, it might be. It's not going to bother you, because after 3 or 4 bowls, it's going to burn out. That taste is going to burn out, and you're not going to notice it. So that's, shouldn't sway you in picking one of these up. But this pipe has a great draw. If I would stop talking long enough to smoke it. Like all the Missouri Meerschaums, they all have a great draw. But the smoke is very, very warm. Now, I'm not a filter smoker, but I am going to try a filter in this because the smoke is so much warmer than even in a cob, that I think that by putting a filter in there, it may cut out some of that heat. You know, it's not lends itself to tongue bite, but if you're a fast smoker in one of these, I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't get tongue bite. You got to go slow. Which is a good rule for everybody. If you're smoking a pipe, you're not a train. You're doing it for relaxation. Okay. This bowl thickness here in the middle, it's about 3/8 to a 1/2 inch in the thick. So from the middle down, this stays cool. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I'm down to less than half a bowl in this. And because this is so thin, the upper part of this bowl is hot. I mean, it is very, very warm. And every pipe smoker puts his hands on the top of his pipe like this, so, you know, when the smoke starts to get light, or the bowl, we'll put our fingers on top like you see guys do to draw some air through your fingers. This is hot. I don't like that. And I just really, I mean, it is warm. You cannot hold your fingers on top of that like this. It gets warm. But down here, it's nice and cool. And if you hold your pipe like I do, in this weird way that I do, it's no big deal. But if you put your fingers up here, whoo, it gets warm. Of course, these are so thick. You ever noticed that on a cob before? I am going to order the spool version and the diplomat version of the maple wood. And if you look at those, the pictures of them, those are a lot thicker up here on the top, and I don't think that that's going to be a problem. I think it's just going to be the country gentleman version of it, and I don't see that that's going to be a problem. So if you love the country gentleman shape, I would go ahead and pick one of these up, but you need to be aware of how hot this gets up here. If they stop making these, you'll probably have a collector's item somewhere down the road. But I have a feeling, and the Diplomat is my next favorite shape to the country gentleman. And so I definitely want one of those. And I'm not a big fan of the spool, but the spool version of the maple wood just looks really super sharp. So I don't plan on ordering another one of these just because of this heat issue that's up here. But hopefully like I said, hopefully the Diplomat version and the spool version are a lot cooler. And if I like those, I'll definitely get more of those. So in the country gentleman, I'm sticking with the good old cob. I am. So when I ordered this, Scott was kind enough to gift me a Morgan, one of the new cob pipes. Looks like a baby Diplomat to me. It's like they cut the half part of the Diplomat down, but it's got the real short shank and stem on it. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to post up a review of that tomorrow. And he also included some of his new mud. I did mud that pipe Wednesday night, and that stuff is rock hard. And so I'll do a review of the mud. I wish I could show you how I did my mudding, but I will explain how I did it. I just have a phone camera, so I can't look down, so I can show you the process. And I wished I could, but I don't have that ability. But I'll explain how I did it, and it came out really nice and clean. And so without too much mess and too much fuss. So, man, that is still warm. for something different. The maple woods are definitely worth it. And I'll give you an update someday on using the filter and see if that took out some of the heat. I'll probably mention that tomorrow whenever I do the other review of the Morgan. So if you've been thinking about buying one, I hope this helps you out. And always nice to get a new pipe, right? So until we share another bowl together, YouTube, I hope you have a great week, and peace.